Morning to all my subscribers and viewers. This is Sergei Dratchev in Calgary, Alberta. Today is January 4th, 9:42 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. So it's pretty much almost 12 in the east. And what is it? 2 plus 8 and 8 p.m. in Moscow, Russia. This is the first full-size video of the year, and my windows are open because I'm keeping an eye on a UPS truck, because I have a secret list over here in my notebook where I'm tracking my multiple purchases, and according to this journal, today I'm getting my mouse pads coming by UPS as well, and I'm getting two 10-round magazines for the 590M coming by Canada Post, and I'm getting 590M itself coming via UPS. And then I still have Picatinny Rail coming tomorrow. And tomorrow also I'll get 115 round mag. So gotta keep an eye because UPS cannot enter the building for some reason. Amazon, when they deliver, just yesterday I got this. I'll do an unboxing video about all my purchases after I have the shotgun. And so I put them all on the floor down there, so it's easy to track. But those magazines, man, they're really impressive. Anyway, back to the logistics. So I had this load and the customer, not the customer, but a guy works for this company, right? And he's watching my YouTube videos. And so again, I find that YouTube, really works, at least for me, to find customers. So people watch videos and then they somehow reach out, so which makes it really important to make it easy for people to contact me, because right on YouTube it's not that easy. But I don't want to publish my email address or my phone number directly. Like I see some people actually do it, like some guy selling something, I don't know, like the guy sells tires, he would just put his phone number, email in there. But I know that I will get lots of spam, and so the best way to contact me is either via Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, where you can message me directly, or if you have a computer only, not a cell phone, but if you're on YouTube on your computer and you go into About Me section at the top there, where it has videos, shorts, stuff like that, and when you click on About Me, you will see email for business contacts. But for some reason that field does not show when you're browsing YouTube on your phone. I tried it with a friend of mine and I said, hey, he says, I cannot see your email address here. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm on my computer, I can see it clearly. But turns out for some reason these YouTube Studio or YouTube is different on the computer, and because you're accessing it from the web, right, compared to the app on the phone. So maybe if you can go, instead of using the app, if you go to let's say Chrome or whatever, Safari on your phone, and you type in youtube.com without using the app, maybe then it'll show the address. But what I found out is that on the computer only, it'll show my email address. It's still hidden, but you click that, says, send email for business purposes. And I tried to create a new website on Google Maps, and it's been one monkey wrench, after another. First, they wanted to do a video confirmation. Like I was supposed to run around with my cell phone and show them the street name and entrance to my office or apartment, and show them my workspace. I did that, did not work. So I basically, business not verified. Your website is not visible. okay, so what's next? Like, how can we do this stupid verification? Like, they started doing this. Before, when I was doing heavy haul, I didn't have to go through that, you know, pain of verifying every time. And so finally they allowed me to verify by postcard. So I waited probably 3 weeks for some stupid postcard to arrive. And in the back it just gives you a 5-digit number. Please go to google.com, verify my business, and you will see this, enter this. Okay, I entered this, and then I didn't realize that it will trigger this again, but I did some updates, right? I changed something on I tried to add my address, because what happens now, when you don't receive any customers at your place, Google does not allow you to put your address, and especially if it's a residential address, they don't want to see a real residential address on a Google business listing, right? And so they say, okay, especially if you don't receive visitors here for business, don't put your address up. But then I try to search for my business, you know, heavy equipment logistics, and it doesn't show on Google search, but I can see my website is active. But because now the service area says Canada, USA, you know, it's not tied up to my location, so I can. But as soon as I try to change that, right away it kicked me out, saying, you know, your edits are not might not be not all of your edits might be visible to viewers. Your business has to be re-verified. Man, so here we go again. And so now I'm trying, and like, no, it says no more verification methods are available. So for some reason they cannot verify it by email or phone, or no more video, no more postcards. So finally they send me an email, the support team, saying that we can verify via video call. And then they send you hours, and hours they can do this verification is for some reason in GMT time, UK, and it says 7:30 to 10, you know, GMT, which is good, because it means I think it was like, we're just checking, I think it's like 7 hours. So basically, yeah, 2:30 my time to like midnight. So actually lots of time. And they want me to do a video call from customer accepted my tender. I'll just get back to this in a second. So they want me to do a video call from inside the Google app, my business, and they want me to show them my workspace. They want me to show them what else? My business logo. I don't have a business logo, I don't know, but I can show them my driver's license. I can show them my business registration, right? Because I have this heavy equipment logistics registered as a sole proprietorship. But I'm telling you, like, Google is just becoming worse and worse every year. And many people complain about this. Like, so now, for example, my website is active, like a basic website, you know, with some pictures and, you know, saying what we do, you know, okay, we help customers ship equipment and machinery in US, Canada, and across the border. And but now I cannot do updates. Let's say I want to post a picture and say, hey, I'm shipping this. Here's a picture, you know, just for potential customers to know. It says, no, you're not allowed to do any updates till your business is re-verified. But I want this to be fixed because I want my name, my company name, to show in Google search, right? Because that's the most powerful engine for searches. I use Google all the time. So anyway, so the guy was watching my YouTube channel, and he works at the equipment place, and he reached out. He says, hey Sergey, we talked on the phone last year, and we did, and he says, I'd be willing to work with you. And at first I thought the guy was my contact, but turns out he's just, you know, a guy. I had a few cases like this where somebody who's working for the company basically refers me to the shipping department, or supervisor or manager or the president of that company, and then they start working with me. Like that big excavator, I remember when I delivered the 336 to Eastern Ontario, and the guy works as a driver and he's watching my videos, and he referred me to his boss who was buying the 336 from US, and that's how I got the job as a trucker, So it's pretty cool. I should really capitalize on this opportunity, because I still have 68,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool, and I'm not looking to make money. I just I'm having fun. I've been doing this since 2008. It's been 14 years. My channel is 14 years old, but I'm still having fun, because being my own director, actor, wardrobe security, hairdresser, stuff like that. Well, hairdressing job is probably the easiest one on the staff. And so this guy works for a machinery company where they refurbish forklifts, right? They buy and sell forklift trucks. And so this started probably early December, like first week of December. They sent me a request for a quote. I found a carrier, and then they said they were not ready to ship until basically Christmas. And then Christmas rolled over. They were still painting the machine, because this was the one I'm shipping now. It's pretty much like total refurb, like fully refurbished machine. It'll be like new, but it is basically last century model, like 1990 something. And I emailed them a couple of times after Christmas. No reply. Probably nobody was working. And then finally, I heard something in January saying that it's ready to go. So it's ready to be picked up next week. And so I reached out to the carrier who gave me a quote before, and because he didn't want to do it on Christmas, because he had only one guy who was willing to drive through Christmas, and he said, we would have to charge you extra because I have to pay the guy extra. And so my customer wasn't willing to do that. So I said, okay, let's wait till January. And so now we are in January, and finally something is happening. So this forklift, it's like a big one, not as big as a container forklift you see at some ports. Like in Baltimore, Maryland, I see these humongous forklifts, and they have this large frame in the front where they can grab a 40-foot container, they can grab a 20-foot container, they can stack them like, I don't know, 7-8 stories high. Not as big as that, but it's still, I found the specs online. The brand is called HYSTER, and fully assembled, it's about 97,000 pounds with the forks. But the customer wants to ship the forks separately, and so it became pretty much somewhere around 70. So basically the forks are going to be 23.5 pounds, 23,500. And the machine itself will be probably 74,000 pounds. Like a nice easy load, not too tall. It's going to be 134 inches wide and 137 inches tall. And so what do you need? You need probably like 7 axles, right? 7 axles. If this was Ontario only, all you need is just a 4-axle truck, 3-axle trailer. But this goes to Western Canada, and so you would need probably a regular truck like they have here, 3-axle trucks, like tandem with a steer, right? Total 3 axles, plus single axle Jeep and a 3-axle trailer, I'm guessing. So that's what I would do. And so now, because these are 2 loads, I'm telling you, just to do this load, we probably exchanged so far, I'm guessing, about 50 emails. I'm not kidding you. Back and forth, Okay, are you okay with them, because these are two loads now, but they're done by the same carrier, right? So forks, it's only need a flat or step, but the main machine needs a RGN, right? So we're having one RGN, one, let's say, flatbed, and the customer never told me this, so I had to ask the carrier. So what are your plans? Are you going to pick it up on the same day? Are you going to deliver on the same day? And he says, yeah, we'll try to pick up on the same day, but I'm not sure about delivery. Might be a day apart, right? So I have to email the customer. Are you okay with this? Or does it have to be delivered on the same day? Well, there's so many, details you have to take care of. And another example, the customer gives me an address for delivery that I have to put on my bill of lading and load confirmation, right? I try to find it on Google Maps. I don't see it. So I'm guessing might be just a job site, right, where this forklift is going, but it's a regular forklift. It's not, off terrain kind of a deal. So, but maybe they can use it inside when they're doing a building. Once the floor is done, they can use it inside. But still, it's a pretty big forklift, so I don't understand why would it go to a job site, right? Normally, a job site, they would want like a excavator, dozer, right? Maybe wheel loader, rock truck, something like that. But you don't often see, I said off-terrain, off-road. You don't often see regular forklifts operating on the ground, right? And so again, I'm typing another email to the customer. I said, I'm sorry, but I cannot find that address because he gave me the name of the company. And as a trucker, that was the biggest problem with the delivery instructions. When they give you a company name and the address, but that company is just either renting space or this guy is just a contractor at a big construction site, right? And so I'm driving there and I'm arriving at a place, and let's say the sign says American Steel, just as an example, right? But my delivery says Canadian Steel, again, as an example, right? Like same address, I'm looking, okay, but wait a second, are you guys the same company? No, they're probably renting a space here, and that's the big deal for a trucker, especially when you do an oversized load with an RGN, you're still pretty long. You don't want to make the driver, I don't want to make the driver angry and then drive around, try to, find the proper spot. So I know that I want to have the name that's on the sign. Like what sign is the driver looking for, right? So basically, I'm looking out for the driver because I knew that for me it was very stressful. Like I'm driving around, where the heck is this Canadian Steel? All I see is US Steel or American Steel. You know what I mean? So you need to tell the driver the place where he's delivering, not the company inside somewhere or the contractor. And the worst case is a job site, right? They give you the address for the job site, like a big construction project, and sometimes they don't give you a phone number, and they'll just say no. The worst case is that when this is the opposite. The opposite is they give you the proper name. They say, this is the guy, but he's just like a general contractor, right? And I call the guy and he says, who is this for? I'm like, what do you mean? I have your address of your site and it has your name. And he says, well, I have 135 contractors working here. You have to tell me the name of the contractor. And basically that's really important, right? So if you give the driver, the trucker, all the info, it makes it so much easier in the future, when he's close to the site trying to deliver the load. And that's what I had to email my customer, and I said I cannot find this place. And it turns out they made a mistake in the address. So it's not, let's say, 525 Haspler Road, my former road where I used to get based in Cambridge, Ontario. But not 525, but it's 1525. Right? And he gave me the name of the actual company where it's delivering for care of this company, so at least now I have the full information I can give the driver. But we're still waiting on the paperwork for the main machine. but the mast was done. The mast, so I created yesterday 2 loads, one for the machine, one for the mast. And the way it works nowadays, many brokers prefer, instead of a load confirmation, they send out what's known as a tender, right? And I remember I hated this as a trucker, but basically they send you what looks like a load confirmation, but it doesn't have the address for pickup or an address for delivery. It just says the company name and a town name, right? Again, in that example with American Steel, it'll just say American Steel, Reno, Nevada, right? And I remember I was always panicking, like, wait a second, what is this? Where do I go to pick up? Where do I deliver? And the broker would say, hold on, that's not the regular load confirmation. You have to sign it, send us back. And so that's what's known as a tender. So once you return the tender, then they send you the actual load confirmation. But my company does it better because it's all automatic, right? So when I create the load and I click save and send, it sends out this tender, and inside that letter with that basic information for the shipper and the town they're based in, it'll say it'll have 2 hyperlinks, accept and refuse, I think. And so once they click accept this tender, then the system, our computer, automatically sends them the load confirmation with the full information and the bill of lading. It's pretty cool. So, but again, I already had my first load, right? My first load where the guy was moving the trailer. I sent him that tender. Of course, he never looked at it. And I missed the email, because usually I'm emailed as well when the guy clicks on the tender. Like now, I got an email saying that to Sergei Dratchev, customer quote was accepted for the following load. And it says carrier accepted tender assigned to this load number. Right, so now I know he got all the info, he got the bill of lading, he got the real load confirmation. That's just for the mast. So now I'm waiting on the customer, and once the paperwork is finished, then I can create another tender for the machine, send it to the same guy, and he'll have to click accept, and then the system generates everything after that. So it's pretty cool, like very powerful, transportation management software, TMS. Very complicated, difficult to learn, but once you get it going properly, it automates many things that normally, like, when I was a trucker, right, I used to make bill of ladings and invoices all by hand. Like here, when I create a customer, then I create a load with a pickup location, delivery location on the system, right? And that's it. Then the bill of lading is generated by itself. I just have to check it, make sure I have no mistakes in there. And I include all the instructions for the carrier, because some places are weird. They want, let's say, if you go to some specific huge job site, they want driver to be clean shaven, like some chemical stuff. Because they say if you're not shaven, when something happens and you have to wear a mask, like a gas mask, if you have beard, gas can get through. So some places just specify this, not just PPE, personal protection equipment, but must be clean shaven, or must have some special high visibility vest, not just the regular safety vest, but some special color, or some pants of special color. I ran into this at some Caterpillar sites up north in Ontario. And so I try to include all those instructions in there, right? But it's a big learning process. I'm still, every time I'm asking my boss, like the agent I'm under as a sub-agent. And the cool thing we're using a Team Viewer. It's pretty cool. So Team Viewer, it's a free software that, he can see my screen. And so I'm on the phone, and all I have to do is I give him the code, like a password. I give him the password, and he's inside my computer. He cannot do anything. He cannot click any fields or change anything, but we are talking as I'm doing something. So he's watching me do a load, which is really like the best education possible, because I'm talking to him via the headset, and he says, no, not that field, this one. Okay, no, you have to go to the right, click this, okay, go here. And it's like amazing, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you're teaching a kid how to write something, right? So the same, so except he's 4 hours away, he's near Edmonton, I'm in Calgary, but this team viewer really makes it simple, you know, when you have a guy that can help you, you know, the best thing. And so yeah, so that's I'm pretty happy with this, because normally with this progress I'm making, because normally they say it takes 3 to 4 months to get your first load, believe it or not. So it's not easy. Like the most difficult part for a new broker like me or a new agent is getting a load. Kind of the same thing if you're a real estate broker and you're looking for your first house, right? So first you must get a house, you must get a buyer, seller. You don't care about buyers, you must get a seller. So that's in my situation, I need to get a load, I need to get a shipper or customer, some equipment place, right? And then then I look for carriers, but which is always easier once we have the load. And so many challenges, but it's a really interesting work. I do enjoy it. Probably this is what I was supposed to be doing in the first place, you know, but I always wanted to be a trucker. Ever since a kid, I wanted to be a long haul trucker, дальнобойщик. And so I did that for 17 years. I cannot believe that time, you know, went so fast from 2005, when I got my Class A or AZ or AZ license in Ontario, until 2022. And so I think I had enough, you know, but now that gave me good experience, and I'm looking out for carriers, right? I know the stuff I'm shipping. I'm not dealing with reefers, I'm not dealing with brakes. My focus is machinery and equipment, exactly what I was doing as a carrier, right? Because this is the stuff I know. You know, permits, how many axles, what kind of a trailer. And so yeah, so this is the first load of the year, and again I'm running ahead of schedule, right? Because I did the first load probably within the first month after I started working for this company. So now I'm doing second load, and it's been only 2 months, right? So I'm going ahead of schedule. And so I still have another load, that grinder. I'm trying to ship a grinder, like a small grinder machine on its own trailer, but it's been going on and on since November. So now finally it looks like probably it'll ship sometime middle of January, hopefully. So that'll be my next load, or second load of the year. So this is the first. So HYSTER 700 forklift, roughly 97,000 pounds, split into 2 loads. And today also I'm getting a lot of fun toys that will be displayed on this channel as well. And so I'll do another video today about the Mossberg and some of these mags I'm getting. And so in the future you will see more content devoted to the Mossberg, and especially in the spring when I get my Hellcat out of storage. So I'll be driving around trying to find some place for a target practice. Sounds good? Thanks for watching. This has been Sergei Dratchev on January 4th, 2023. See you later.